Hello.
Hello, Mr. Newhart.
Good, how are you?
How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Okay, I'm going to get this stuff fixed here. Okay, it sounds a lot better. This is Jared from Cozy 101 calling, and we have you coming to Greeley May 14th and 15th.
That's right, yeah.
Well, good. We're looking forward to the show. And here you are, back doing stand-up. Has it been a long time since you done stand-up?
No, it was, I never stopped doing stand-up when I was, I started out as stand-up in 1960, and then in 72 I started doing the Bob Newhart show. But even then, I was still doing stand-up. I go to Vegas or I go to Tahoe or Reno, and so I never really left. And it's my first love, and there's nothing like being on stage and that immediate gratification from an audience.
Yeah, I hear you. I do stand-up, and I don't even want to compare myself to you, but how long did it take you to get comfortable on stage?
Well, I would say the first 3 or 4 years, there's probably a lot of bravado and very little confidence. But one of the first things you learn when you go into stand-up is if you show any fear at all, you're dead meat. So you have to kind of put on this front that you really know what the hell you're doing when, in fact, you don't know what the hell you're doing. So,
well, how long then before you know what you're doing?
I would say 2 to 3 years, yeah, before I really felt comfortable in doing it.
Well, Comedy Central has, they're doing the top 100 stand-up comics, and I think you were listed like 13 or 14.
That's what somebody told me, yeah.
And this from a guy who was a commercial copywriter.
Yeah, I was an accountant first, left accounting and became a copywriter for a very short time at a oddly enough at a place called Fred Nile Studio. We did a lot of industrial stuff and some commercial work, and that is now the home of what is it, Zebra Productions, the Ofra, or Groucho, I guess it's
Harpo.
Yeah, exactly. That's where she is now.
No way. So you were a copywriter at the very same place where Oprah makes like $50 million a week.
That's right. I wasn't making quite that much, no.
But I'm sure you were well respected. So do you, you got to be sitting on top of the world. Are you feeling comfortable with your accomplishments?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Jared, the weirdest thing is going to happen. Nick at Night, TV Land, has done in a couple cities. In Minneapolis, they did Mary Tyler Moore. And in North Carolina, they did Andy Griffith and Opie. And this June, they're going to do a statue of me in Chicago with a couch next to me, so that tourists will appear as, and have their pictures taken. It will appear that I'm psychoanalyzing them.
That's awesome.
And the present location is a place I probably walked by 2,000 times. In my life, and it's right near Loyola University where I went to school. So I would walk from Chicago University down Michigan Avenue. I walk by this building, which is in the opening credits, the building I walk into, and then I would catch the elevator and I'd take it home. And if someone had told me 60 years ago that you're going to have a statue there, I'd say right, sure. So it's really kind of surreal.
I bet.
As far as a career is concerned, it just has been thoroughly enjoyable.
Well, you span generations too. I mean, my grandma couldn't wait to watch Newhart. My mom adored Bob Newhart. I don't want to say I love Bob. I mean, I love you, Bob Newhart. And I don't know if it's the Nick at Night or what, but there seems to be a Bob Newhart a palooza here, a revival going on.
Well, it's true. It's Nick at Night and then TV Land. I can see it in the fan mail. I'm getting more and more fan mail written in crayon.
That was me. I got a little drunk the other night and wanted to send you something.
And no, it's great. David Letterman told me, I wasn't even aware of it. That I had a show in the '60s, a show from '61 to '62. Then the '70s was the Bob Newhart show, and then the 80s was Newhart, and then in the 90s I had a show. I had 2 shows that didn't work. So you're looking at 4 decades, which is remarkable. Because I was a guy who didn't think I was going to last more than a couple of years.
Well, are you one of those stereotypical performers where you hear about this about Letterman, and I'm like this, and people I work with in radio are just extremely insecure and paranoid. Is this you?
Well, no, I am. I would say I am probably the sanest of all the comedians working, and I probably am committable.
Oh, but yeah, that's not good. That's not a good sign.
That gives you an idea about the state of the health of the rest of them.
Well, yeah, and how sad does it get that you're the psychoanalyst to whom people are looking for help, but they're putting it in a statue, and you're committable.
Yeah. Well, actually, I should have gotten my license pulled as a psychologist, but I mean, I never helped anybody. I was, Mr. Carlin was at least as screwed up after 6 years as when he first came to me. I mean, I think Ward should have pulled my license and say, you can't practice anymore.
Yeah, but you were always surrounded by nuts.
Well, that was the secret. The secret is to be surrounded by these crazy, funny people.
Well, and that sounds like what Seinfeld captured with his show.
I think so. And then Don Johnson told me something I never knew. I ran into him. He said to his writers, he said, "Have you ever seen the Bob Newhart show?" And they said, "Yeah, of course." And he said, "Well, that's what I want. I want to be surrounded in Miami Vice." He said, "I want to be surrounded by all these nutty people." And they said, "Okay."
Really? Don Johnson?
Yeah.
Okay, that's some Miami Vice trivia that nobody knew. Okay, well, I don't know what you're going to be doing in Greeley on stage, so I can't do the classic comedy interview where I feed you lines like, "Bob, tell me about your pets." But, what will you be doing in Greeley?
I'll probably do one or two of the record routines.
Oh, good.
The original record routines.
Yeah, and these are the records selling millions.
Yeah, the first one. The first one is, I found out recently also, is the 20th best-selling album ever.
Wow.
Based on the number of weeks on the chart, it was the 20th best-selling album of all time.
You're a rock star.
Yeah, but I don't get the groupies. What happened?
Are you kidding? I'm sure there's some Bob Newhart groupies somewhere.
A couple of people in walkers. That's kind of they're my groupies.
Well, if they're crazy, then you don't have to worry about them chasing you.
That's right.
They're not going to climb to the second story of your house to get you. And aside from the stand-up, what else should we look for you in? What's happening?
Well, we got a couple things in the works. Nothing involving television. I think that's behind me. A couple of movies, but nothing definite. And I just kind of, play it by ear. Whatever comes along and looks interesting, and then I say, yeah, I'd like to do that. I mean, last year I was, the ER came to me and they said, would you like to do a 3-parter? And I looked at the script and loved the script, and that was just out of the blue. That was like, I got a call and I said, yeah, I'd like to. When does it go? And they said Tuesday.
Yeah, you're just a busy guy. You're like, yeah, I'll be there, but first let me take off my elf tights.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, and it just seems like it's your time all over again. Like you've caught a breeze and you're just moving.
It just, last year was really, really busy. I did Legally Blonde 2, and then I went right from that to Elf, and then almost right from then I did some stand-up, and then I went right into ER. So it turned out to be a very busy year.
And then you get even busier by going on the road. And Bob Newhart, the most successful TV entertainer of all time. That's not Bob saying it or me. That's what he's been dubbed. He will be in Greeley Union Colony Civic Center May 14th and 15th. 2 nights. We're getting a lot of calls here about ticket information. You can always call Cozy 101 or go to our webpage, cozy101.com. And Bob, here's what I got to ask you. Do you need an opening act?
You don't sing, do you?
Well, I don't sing.
Oh, okay.
So does that put me in?
I kind of leave that up to the promoter.
I'm sorry, I put you on the spot.
Why don't you talk to him?
Okay, well, I'll do that.